gosh, I'm nervous still, which is really weird because I've like been doing this for a few times now. I shouldn't still be nervous, right? But I just don't think I'm ever gonna get used to recording videos. So I just noticed that I hit 100 subscribers, which is like crazy because if you guys watched my first video, which is on The Last Jedi, it's kind of like me just blabbering on about how The Last Jedi just crushed my heart. But throughout the video, I'm like, I'll probably only get like 16 people to watch this, and who knows if anyone will even agree with me. So I'm very excited to know that so many people not only agreed with me, but like it's like a movement right now. It's really huge. And I honestly had no idea because I mean, I don't know. I grew up feeling kind of on my own with Star Wars. And I know that sounds crazy. And there are a lot of people out there who are like, oh, just happens to be a multi-billion-dollar empire. It's not like it's a nerd thing. It's very mainstream if you think about it. But honestly, growing up as a big Star Wars fan and as a girl and as a tomboy that was a girl that was also just awkward in general, like I was not a popular girl. I was not a popular kid. I was like a weird loner. I still kind of am. I'm a little less, no, I'm not less weird. I'm definitely not less weird. But I embrace my weirdness now, which is awesome. And I feel like I really hit this awesome like place where I found you guys and we like connected on our heartache over The Last Jedi and what Disney and people like Kathleen Kennedy are doing to the Star Wars universe. And we've kind of like banded together and created this like safe space for us, Star Wars snowflakes to like really get out those feelings and emotions. So anyway, I just wanted to thank all of you who have watched my videos, who have liked my videos, even those of you who have disliked my videos. That's fine. Like, just let me know. Give me feedback. Let me know why. I love hearing people's input on all things Star Wars. And honestly, I'm one of those people where it's like, if you can change my mind about something, I am so open to that. Like, I try to be as open-minded as possible. Do I think anyone's gonna change my mind about The Last Jedi being a terrible film in general, even aside from the whole social and political message that people have been talking about? No, I think I'm pretty stuck on hating it. But anyway, yeah, so I'm making this video to kind of like celebrate with you guys. Thank you guys. And also, I thought it would be kind of cool for me to get into my first ever experience with Star Wars, because that was a pivotal moment for me as a child, 1, as a young girl, 2, as a tomboy, 3, and just as a weird, awkward, loner person, and so many other things. Star Wars has been so many things to me, and I just want to talk about my first experience with it, and what it really did to me and for me, and like just talk about that, and try to keep the video short because all my videos have been like super long because I had no idea that I was a big talker, because most people I don't think realize that I'm a big talker. I mean, maybe I am. Maybe I'm just deluding myself into thinking that I'm not. I identify as an introvert personally, so this has been very cathartic for me to be able to get this out and talk about it with you guys. So anyway, there I go rambling again. So let's talk about my first experience with Star Wars. Now, to be very technical, my first ever experience with Star Wars, I was about 4 years old, but I did not see Star Wars for the first time until I believe I was 6 years old, in the 2nd grade. I was in the 2nd grade early for my age. So we'll get to that later. My first ever experience with Star Wars, though, was actually with Return of the Jedi, which just so happened to be playing on television at my grandmother's house. Now, one thing you should know about my grandmother's house, grandparents' house. Oh, I just say my grandmother because my grandfather passed away a few years ago. I miss him very much, but he is one with the Force now. Um, and anyway, my grandparents are Lithuanian, like from Lithuania, off the boat Lithuanian, and barely speak any English. I mean, they speak English enough to like have a conversation, but so their television was not like, it didn't have a lot of channels. Neither did mine, personally, honestly. So the fact that, I mean, I grew up with 7 channels, which for me was the least amount of channels that anyone in my age group had. My parents were steadfastly kind of like against having any cable or satellite or any kind of television that allowed for more than the channels we had. Not really in a dogmatic sense, but more of just like this like overall stubbornness, of just being like, we don't need it, like we have enough and that's fine. And looking back, I'm really grateful for that. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. See, I'm rambling. This is what happens. Anyway, it was on my grandparents' TV, which was just almost like a miracle to begin with. And it was a scene in Return of the Jedi where Luke Skywalker had gone to Jabba's palace on Tatooine, and he was in the dark, I don't know what you would call it. I mean, main palace room of Jabba's place. And I saw Jabba, and I saw like Max Rebo and Salacious Crumb and all of these amazing practical effect creatures and aliens. And I had seen stuff like this before as a kid. I grew up obviously seeing other movies of the time and television of the time that had puppets and even, fantastic animations and stuff. But as a 4-year-old, this scene captured me in a way that nothing else did before. And I was like riveted and just glued to the screen. And I remember my dad was kind of like hovering around behind me, and he's kind of like his own lone wolf type of person, but he's always been very aware of and engaged of film culture, and he really knows like good film and stuff. And he said, "Oh, Star Wars," and I had no idea what that was. I hadn't heard about it before. He had never really talked about it before. He said, "That's a film that you should see one day, Kelly." He's like, "But you shouldn't see it like this." And he actually turned off the TV, much to my dismay, because I was so enthralled with what was going on in that, I don't know what you would call it, it's not really a throne room. I always thought it was so cool that Jabba was like this, like almost like Middle Eastern, like he was smoking the hookah and stuff and eating the frogs. Like he was just, and the fact that he was on a desert planet, Tatooine, like it was just very cool how he's like this, like, I don't know what you would call, like Middle Eastern royalty of some sort. I don't know I hope that doesn't sound, politically incorrect at all, because I thought it was cool. Anyway, I was, sad. So that was the last I saw of Star Wars. For 2 years, I went without seeing it. I really can't remember why. Memory's kind of foggy. I only have very certain specific memories from the ages of like 4 and under and onward. So, but my next very vivid memory is being 6 years old in the 2nd grade, and I had a play date with this girl. My dad had previously rented A New Hope, and she saw that we hadn't watched it yet. I was going to watch it, and we hadn't watched it yet, and I told her, or she saw that we had the Blockbuster rental. She's like, "Oh, A New Hope, like I love Star Wars." And we started watching it, but her mom came and picked her up, and obviously I was really interested and enthralled again. But her mom came and picked her up, I want to say right when R2 got kind of like tasered by the Jawas. I want to say it was right around that scene. So then, here, let's set the scene. Now I have Star Wars all to myself. I'm 6 years old. I think my dad was upstairs doing his own thing, which was probably for hours. So I was on my own. I was an only child, on my own. My friend was gone. I was with Star Wars. And this might be one of the biggest moments of my life, because I look at Star Wars as something that truly changed me. It sounds crazy to say, sounds super nerdy to say, but it's like, it gets into my soul. It really does. And at that time, as an only child, as already someone that was kind of different, and someone who was like yearning to have a place in the world. I mean, at 6 years old, we're still very open, but we're also already taking on so much other stuff from our parents and from the school systems and from other people in our peer groups. And I just felt I was always a sensitive kid, and always, just like a little different. So when I was with this movie, it was the first time that a movie of any kind, television of any kind, anything with a screen, really. It's the first time anything, honestly, any art, any music, it was the first time something resonated with me on a deeper level than just enjoying something or observing something. It just like injected itself into my soul stream. Let's just put it that way. Star Wars was injected into my soul stream. And I will tell you what scene changed my life. And I'm gonna give you a hint. It's on my shirt. That's kind of giving it away. It was the binary sunset scene. I was like interested in Luke Skywalker. I was like, whoa, he's so cool, and he has these bright eyes, and he's like ready to take on the world, but he feels trapped and shielded and compelled by other people to do the right thing. And I mean, I didn't grasp all of those intricate details necessarily, but I felt an empathetic feeling for him already, as like the farm boy that had all these dreams of what he wanted to do, and yet was stuck on this planet, that was, if there's a bright center to the universe, it's on the planet that it's furthest from, whatever the quote is, resonated with me. And I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure a lot of you guys will probably say and feel the same thing. So let me know if you felt the same thing. I would love to hear about that. But yeah, so the binary sunset scene, when he kind of like rushes out of his home after dealing with all these feelings, after talking to Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and having them kind of, especially Uncle Owen, kind of like pushing him down and saying, this is what you ought to do, this is what we need you to do, you need to stay on another season, and then you can go to the academy, and whatever. I'm probably getting some of it wrong, but like, I know that was kind of like there was all this flustered, and he just wanted more. And he just rushed out onto this little like sand, not cliff, like sand dune, sand lip, and looked out. Oh, I have the picture right here. I could just reference that. So yeah, he like ran up at his little sand igloo and just kind of like looked out to the binary sunset, and this music starts playing, and it is, I have chills. I have chills right now. Just think, I'm hearing it in my head. I'm hearing the binary sunset theme in my head. And it is so beautiful. And it starts playing, and you see him, and you see his hair. And it's very romantic and very idealistic and just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous scene. And for someone that's never seen Star Wars, I feel like if you want to show them Star Wars, don't give them, I understand machete order and all that stuff, but I really feel like, honestly, the prequel, like, if you want to show them the beauty of the films, and like, not just the movie entertainment side of it, or the storyline, but like the film quality and essence, and the music, John Williams, come on, dude, like, oh my gosh, show them the binary sunset scene. It's short, it's beautiful, you don't need to know the story, it just, all of a sudden this music starts to swell, and you hear the orchestra come together in this like chorale. You have the French horn or the German horn or whatever it is. I guess it's technically German, but they call it a French horn. Anyway, don't get too technical. Changed my life. To this day, when I go to a happy place, it is the binary sunset. So yeah, that was my first experience with Star Wars. It was beautiful, and it was meaningful, and it had and still has a huge impact on who I am today, as a person, as a teacher. I'm an art teacher. If y'all don't know, I work with children. So many of the kids that I work with, by the way, love Star Wars, which is amazing for me. And they're always so impressed when like a teacher, especially like a young female teacher, knows about Star Wars, because like I think they're always just like, what? It's mostly boys still to this day, but that's cool. Honestly, I have no problem being a girl that loves Star Wars. I know when I grew up, I'm sorry, but all you girls out there that love Star Wars, where were you when I needed you? I could have used you guys. Because honestly, I got made fun of so much and picked on so much for being a nerd, especially by other girls. So now you all love Star Wars. Now Megan Fox is wearing a Star Wars shirt. Excuse me. Okay, now it's cool. Now it's sexy. Could have used you when I was an awkward tomboy pretending to be a wolf in my hallways of middle school. Told you I was weird. But anyway, that was my first Star Wars experience. Oh, there's Nova. You guys know Nova now. Just, you know, prowling around in the background like a little crate dragon. I'm trying to think of something on Tatooine. Like a little Jawa. She looks like a Jawa with those big bright eyes of hers. But anyway, this is your first video watching me. You're gonna realize that I'm nerdy and weird and I ramble. So I'm sorry. But if you guys are returning people and friends that we've been talking, like, I hope you loved hearing about my experience, my first experience with Star Wars. Obviously, the rest of the movie was fan-frickin-tastic. When Han Solo came in, I was like, dude, this guy is awesome. What a badass. I want to be friends with this guy. Princess Leia came in, I was like, wow, I've never seen a girl act like that before. Like, how cool, how strong she is. Which is another reason I'm so pissed at Kathleen Kennedy for saying like things like the Force is female and Luke Skywalker isn't a relatable character for women. Excuse me? Luke Skywalker is my hero to this day. And look, I'm a woman. So anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. By the way, if any of you have a direct line to Kathleen Kennedy and she says anything about the Force being female, the Force doesn't know gender. What are you talking about, Kathleen Kennedy? Anyway, I don't want to get into the political side of everything, because I think a lot of people are harping on that. Like, that's the worst part of Star Wars right now. And don't get me wrong, I don't like anything being politicized. I think you can have political and social elements in any kind of art, especially film. But if you're being preachy about it, it's gonna fall flat. It's gonna matter to people that are also preachy. It's not gonna matter to the people that just wanna understand life through art or just want to enjoy a film. Don't get me started. See, this is what happens. This is why I need to keep my YouTube videos compartmentalized. But anyway, see, it just like starts to leak out all of this Star Wars talk. And here's Nova. Nova, hi. She's a baby. Someone asked, Tom, I think it was, asked to see more of Nova. So there's Nova for you. She's a little muffin and she loves Star Wars too. The Force is strong with this cat. Isn't she adorable? Little baby. So yeah, anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love making these videos. I am so happy to be able to talk about Star Wars. I have so much fur. It's like a fur magnet. To be able to talk about Star Wars finally with you guys, because this is something else I talked about in another video. I gotta go because I'm eating here at this point. Was how hard it is for me to talk about Star Wars because it's such a niche thing. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it is, because I have a lot of people that I know that do love Star Wars, but it's very particular, the type of Star Wars that I like. So yeah, you all know that. I've already talked about that in other videos. So anyway, you guys have been great. Thank you so much. I'm like so amazed that I actually have 100 subscribers right now. This is the weirdest thing ever. My first video has like 800 views. It's just crazy. I don't think I will ever be used to this. I still feel so awkward and nervous doing these. I'm not nervous so much, but just awkward because I know people are gonna be like, dude, your videos are so long. You just go on and on and on. But hey, will I always talk about Star Wars in my videos? Probably not. But right now, yeah, let's ride this wave, guys, because this is what's going on right now, and it's deep. It runs deep. This is going further than just Star Wars. This affects other things. Star Wars is like my religion. It's my spirituality. The messages and the storylines and the characters are so relevant to who I am as a person, and it goes so much deeper than I think most people want to talk about. And anyone that discounts that, I think, is just someone that just automatically discounts Star Wars in general, or they're protecting the new Star Wars that seems to be coming out right now, which is just like the weirdest thing. I'm sorry, it's just cat fur. I hear it everywhere. But anyway, you guys have been great. Let me know what you think about my first experience with Star Wars in the comments. If you want to let me know your first experience with Star Wars in the comments, that would be awesome. I know a lot of you guys were lucky enough to see it in theaters when it came out. That's awesome. If I had a time machine, I think I would visit ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, and I want to say Star Wars when it was out in theaters, but I really loved my personal experience with Star Wars, and I loved growing up with it, and I still got to grow up with the original trilogy the way that I did, so I'm very happy. I mean, I don't think I would change it, but yeah, anyway. Let me know what kind of video I should make next time, because I feel like I have so much to talk about. I need to be more streamlined. I have a few different ones in mind. I've had someone ask about my Star Wars collectibles, which, oh my gosh, you guys. I've been collecting Star Wars stuff since I was 6 years old, so I have a lot of Star Wars toys and collectibles. I have some vintage stuff that I actually found in like vintage stores in Manhattan when I was a kid. I didn't grow up in Manhattan, but I grew up going to Manhattan because my mom worked there, so I would go see her, and then my number one request would always be, Mom, I want to go to a store that sells Star Wars stuff. And it was this was before the internet was big, so I don't even know how she found any of these stores that happened to have Star Wars stuff. These weren't even comic book stores. These were vintage clothing stores, and I found my vintage Han Solo blaster there. It's from '77, and Chicken Walker from Return of the Jedi. There's this other store in Rhode Island where I got my first Millennium Falcon that I actually hung with fishing wire from my bedroom growing up, and that's from, I think that was from Return of the Jedi, so that was from the 80s, but yeah, this stuff's from before I was born, you guys, antiques, collectibles, yeah. But I also got a bunch of stuff from the new releases. I have so much Star Wars stuff. I live here in New York, and I have a few things here, most of which was stuff I bought right after The Force Awakens came out, because my whole Star Wars nerdiness got rejuvenated, and I just went crazy on eBay and bought so much Star Wars stuff. But I still have, I brought my Han Solo blaster here with me, because I want my blaster by my side at all times, just like Han Solo. And then the rest of the stuff is up at my parents' place in Rhode Island. So I have so much stuff, but I would love to do a video just showing you guys all my toys. What else? Let's see. Books. I have lots of not so much extended universe books, because I read all of those, and I think I just gave them to Goodwill when I was done with them when I was a kid, which just kind of want to punch myself for that. But at the end of the day, I could always get them again. But my favorite books are encyclopedia style books. So I have one on the animals of the Star Wars universe, and one of the encyclopedias that's just all about characters from the original trilogy. Oh my god, I have so many books. Oh my gosh, I would love, okay, let me know if you guys are interested in, let me know if you guys are interested in this. But I have this idea where I would love to do a story time with reading my Star Wars books to you guys. I just feel that would be the most fun thing ever, because I would get to relive all my memories of reading through the books and looking through them alone in my bedroom in high school. Like, that's what I was doing. Y'all should know, I didn't go to a single house party when I was in high school. I was a loner. Like, I would literally I would be playing like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack on my little CD player while looking through either like the Lord of the Rings screenplay or like Star Wars books, and obviously playing the Star Wars soundtrack, but I've already told you guys about that. But yeah, I'm a hardcore Star Wars fan, in case y'all didn't notice. But yeah, I would love to like, do that, to like read like through my books and stuff. So there's that. There's the collectibles I could go through. I was thinking of going through. I could go into like Rotten Tomatoes and read you guys my review of The Force Awakens, which I haven't looked at since I reviewed it, and I'd be interested to see what I actually said, because I think I really enjoyed The Force Awakens. I know a lot of you guys hate it too, but I really think it was much better than The Last Jedi. Like, years better than The Last Jedi. Eons, light years better than The Last Jedi. And the prequels, honestly. Sorry if you disagree. But anyway, like, this is just like, let's just have a discussion and keep talking, and let me know what you guys think a next good video would be. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I got really bad allergies last week, and then I got sick. So, but I'm all better now, as you can see, all healthy and happy and ready to talk about Star Wars, as always. I said I was gonna make this a short video. I'm looking at the time, it's 26 minutes. I know this is, it's just like, it's just my lot in life. It's just my lot in life. Wait, who says that? Is that C-3PO? I think C-3PO's. I'm not very good with C-3PO quotes because I never really loved him as a character. I like him better now as a character, but I was always an R2 person, so anyway, I like C-3PO too. He's fine. Anthony Daniels. A good chap, yeah. We're made to suffer. It's our lot in life. I think he says that when he and R2 are walking, looking for salvation after getting out of the escape pod on Tatooine. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up because there's fur in my face, there's fur in the air. Say goodbye to Nova. You can't see her, but she's like sitting on the table staring at me. That's all she ever does is stare at me. But anyway, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for putting up with me, listening to me, talking with me, and just giving me a place to actually talk about Star Wars. So yeah, I really appreciate it. The Force is strong with all of us. We have to stay together. May the Force be with you. Bye, guys.